everybody, this is Noelle from Petitti Garden Centers, and we're at a different store today. We're usually at Oakwood, but today we took a visit out to our Avon location. We're out in Garden Street, which is our huge, long archway, walkway that's covered all the way down to basically Interstate 90 out there. And we're gonna show you what we have now for May. Beginning of May, just remember, we've had some warm temperatures. Want to still be a little bit cautious if you're planting things in containers. No problem, you can move them in and out and make sure you're protecting them if we get a little frost or freeze. Things in the ground, be careful, okay? Your perennials, no problem. Your woody trees and shrubs, no problem. They'll be fine in the ground. Annuals and tropicals want to be careful. Okay, so just be aware of that. But we wanted to show you and look at everything's pretty in pink behind me. We have tropical bougainvillea baskets, and this combination that you see with these beautiful petunias, this combination is called Above and Beyond. And that's a proven winner combination where they take basically our three most popular Vista Supertunias and they group them together in that combo. And then they have that cool Prince Tut papyrus right inside. So those are really, really cool. If you look this way a little bit, we've got plenty of tropicals, hibiscus, beautiful yellow hibiscus trees, braided trunks, hibiscus shrubs. I think this one's Fiesta. I'm gonna check really, really quick. It is, and I love that coloration. It looks like a sunset with that big red eye, gorgeous. And then down below, we were showing you the Cananova cannas. They're a shorter dwarf canna variety, but still really, really gorgeous. And this looks like mango to me, the color right here. So really beautiful tropicals available right now. There's some big bananas out here. There's some big bird of paradise out here too. So, and there's some palms. We're gonna be passing by all different types of palms. So look, if you need more tropical feels in the backyard, patio, deck, what have you, no problem, we've got them. I wanted to show you right here, we've got lots of perennials in color right now. These guys are gonna be like your late spring into early summer bloomers. You see the lupine right here, lupinus, lupine, however you like to say it, folks. Just remember with lupine, and this is the staircase series, they're a little bit more compact, have that wonderful kind of sweet peppery smell to them. They are full sun plants. They like well-drained soil, so make sure that you're getting them in the raised beds. They're in the pea family, so I always tell folks, all the plants that you plant around any plant from the pea family is gonna be happy because these guys will take nitrogen out of the atmosphere and put it in the soil. So anything you plant around a pea is gonna start greening up and looking really, really good. That's because of that pea family. So lupins are great. And these guys right here, this series, I believe, this is Masterpiece, I'm pretty sure. Oh, I lied. Manhattan Lights is that purple and yellow. They are bigger, a little bit taller than the Staircase series. Pretty showy plants out there in the garden. So Manhattan Lights, and this one's Masterpiece. Sorry guys, I get those mixed up. But the smell, oh my gosh, just a sweet peppery smell. It's so awesome. So look for these guys. Success in the garden has to do prepping that soil and making sure the soil is really well drained, kind of neutral. With these guys, you'll be fine, okay? Blooming campanula down below here. So this is a glomerata campanula right here in the white. They do come in blue as well. And then look at, this is probably one of our best clematis right here, Nubia, very, very dark, kind of burgundy red, dark eyelashes in the center, really pretty. Probably about a 3-foot height on Nubia, so not a super tall one, but great in her own container and also great in the center of a mixed planter where you've got annuals and perennials in there as well. I wanted to come over to this area. Meredith is in charge of Garden Street here, folks, so we're gonna give a shout out to Meredith. Please come and visit her. She does an awesome job. And she has some beautiful displays out here. And this white and that pink, it's all meadow sage. So meadow sage is going to be your salvia. It is in the culinary sage family. They're also technically in the mint family too. Great aromas, beautiful flowering, great pollinator attractants, and long blooming perennials in the garden. All you want to do is when they're about 75% bloomed out, go ahead and cut them back down to the next set. You'll see the buds coming out, and then they'll reflower. When those are about 75% bloomed out, do the same thing, cut back, feed. They'll do their thing for you and repeat throughout the season. So we've got white down here. That's New Dimension Rose over on the far side. And this little spiky guy right down here, that ground cover, is Angelina. It's one of my favorite sedum ground covers. Really, really gorgeous. And it will fill out an area, and you even get like a peachy orange color as it gets more sun through the season. So it's the coolest, okay? More clematis, folks. I've told you many times, we grow Raymond Evison clematis for the most part. His varieties are the most floriferous. They are really, really gorgeous. Excellent repeat bloomers. Sometimes your first flower looks different from your second flower cycle on these plants. Really, really beautiful colors. Abilene and Bernardine here. We've got more Nubia. There's Countess of Wessex over on the side there. So lots of different colors to look for. And in May, you're going to see, I'd say the majority of the clematis are going to come out at this time of year too. So you'll see a lot of color with clematis. Got some rhododendrons here. I do want to mention, we're going to walk you through the rhododendrons in the back, but if you're interested in knowing your specific color that you are looking for, come and check out the rhododendrons and the azaleas now. We've had so much heat lately that the flowers are really kind of busted open and are blooming out and fading. So come and check them out. And if that's something, Mother's Day gift or what have you, definitely come and get your rhododendron or azaleas now. And we'll show you more in the back. These tall, spiky guys, I'm going to have Taylor get a little bit closer. This is your foxglove, okay? Dalmatian variety here, the Dalmatian series. Got that classic kind of raspberry pink here. And then the peachy up above. Very, very large plants. Your foxglove can grow in full sun to part shade, and I actually think they last longer in part shade. They just don't get heated up too quickly, and the flowers last longer. So in part shade's a really good place to put them. Fuzzy foliage. Just remember, these guys are great pollinator plants. They are very deer resistant. They do have some toxicity to them, so remember that when you're planting them. But again, beautiful classic cottage type perennial or biennial flowers, okay? First year foliage, second year flowering, seeding, and then you let the seed drop and they'll keep on growing for you. Look what I found, everybody. The Sunfinity sunflowers are in stock currently. They're just getting started here. Tons of buds here ready to go. But this is going to be your repeat blooming sunflower. No, the flowers aren't as large as the classic sunflower, but still they're a great pollinator attractant. Beautiful sunny presence in the garden. You can grow them in containers, you can grow them in the ground, no problem. And they're just going to get bushier and branch and spread. So that's really, really nice. Always a good gift plant as well. I wanted to show you over here on my over my shoulder the Sunblaze roses. These are a miniature rose. I think I've mentioned them before. But these miniature roses are along the lines of like the knockout roses in the respect that they have excellent disease resistance. There are, I think, 12 colors in the Sunblaze family, but they're mini, meaning very, very compact and dwarf in habit. Flowers are really profuse and nice. I don't think any of the flowers are as big maybe as a knockout rose, but most of them are doubled where they are a full doubled miniature rose. Really, really pretty. So lemon is right here. It does have a wonderful sweet fragrance to it. And I also have pink Sunblaze here. It's just one of those like sweetheart roses, and they're that one's very sweet too. So look for sunblazes. Like I said, lots of different colors. There's darker yellows, reds, like amber colors, corals. So really, sunblaze rose, they're ready in their pots. You can literally just put them in a sunny spot, keep them watered, keep them fed, and then just deadhead every once in a while, okay? They'll continue to produce buds and blooms for you all throughout the growing season. Never have to worry about spraying or taking care of any diseases with these roses. They just stay really clean and beautiful and just keep on going. We're moving towards the back of Garden Street, so we're getting closer to our nursery section with trees and shrubs. And I wanted to show you, if you've seen little kind of low mounded plants with a lot of white or pink flowers, it's Deutzia. Deutzia is a great little landscape plant that works very, very nicely in full sun conditions to part shade. This one's Chardonnay Pearls. Love that limey green color, almost chartreuse yellow. And then look at all of those flowers. They're so beautiful, like little bells that come off. But this is a nice, if you just need a nice, tidy little landscape shrub, awesome. The Deutzia do very, very nicely. Like I said, you can choose the colors that you like, but it's a little bit different from, let's say, a spirea that we would recommend or what have you in that same kind of condition. These are definitely going to be earlier bloomers. The spirea will be a little bit later in the growing season. So it's nice to kind of have one and the other as well in that same area. I wanted to show you as well that the hydrangeas are starting to flower. We're starting to get some really, really nice color on the hydrangeas here. We're going to walk towards the eclipse hydrangeas in these purple pots. Eclipse, I'm sure you've seen it in our magazine. Eclipse has gotten a lot of attention this season, of course, with the solar eclipse, not only, but it's one of the first hydrangeas to have that lovely dark foliage. And right now out in the, in the covered walkway, it's getting a little shade, but it definitely gets sun throughout the day. And look at how dark, it's almost like a dark purpley bronze color. So that foliage is really, really beautiful, almost black, not quite there, but almost. And then the flowers are really unique on them. When they're younger, they have kind of a lime green, hue to them, and then as they get a little bit older, you get a little bit of cream in the center and then the cranberry edges. So again, just a really cool hydrangea. If you're looking for something different out there in the garden, you might want to try Eclipse. Again, for full sun to part shade. We always like to put hydrangeas in our area in that 4 to 6 hour mark as far as the macrophylla hydrangeas are concerned. That's usually pretty good for them. Eastern exposure, so if you have morning sun, that's really awesome for them. And then if they get shading in the afternoon, perfect spot for them. So think about your eclipse hydrangeas. We are standing by a cool shrub. This is called Scotch broom, okay, or cytisus. And Proven Winners has a new series out, and it's the Sister series. So we've got Sister Rosie, to rosy pink, but she's got a really pretty kind of burnt orange lip down below, a little bit of yellow. Sister Disco, which is more of that bright, almost golden yellow, but bright canary yellow, little bit of burnt red there. And then Sister Firelight, Redhead. Oh my God, sorry. Scrap that. Sister Redhead, sorry. So needless to say, there's lots of beautiful color. They are also in the pea family. So we were just talking about Lupine or Lupine. Same thing, pea family here. These guys are really, really easy growers, can tolerate a lot of drought, a lot of sun, just do a really good job out there for us. And, Birkwood. So I'm sorry. And this is not a PW variety, but the Birkwood variety, if you're looking for a really pretty kind of dark burgundy pink, that's a really cool shade too. So just look for your Scotch broom right now. They're gorgeous and blooming. Pea family is always gonna bring in the pollinators too. So check them out. So I mentioned that the hydrangeas are starting to bloom, and we have right behind me here This is all the original Endless Summer hydrangea, right? So it's been over close to 2 decades with Endless Summer, only 1 decade. No, I think it's been close to 2 decades now that the Endless Summer has been out. The original is the first one to really bloom out of the Endless Summer series and different varieties that we grow. But look at all of that beautiful kind of pastel pale blue color. It's really starting to come out in the flowers, but they start a little bit creamy and of course develop that blue. And if you want to continue with that blue color, remember, keep your soil pH more acidic. So definitely add your aluminum sulfate. Feed this hydrangea with Hollytone to get more acid into the soil. And look at, oh my gosh, beautiful blooms. They're really busting out. We're back in the roses, and everything's starting to really bud up very, very nicely. 3 varieties that I wanted to show you today are the Alman roses, which are a series of roses that have been bred by taking hybrid tea qualities of roses, so beautiful flowering, fragrance, that type of classic rose attributes, and then breeding them with shrub roses. So they have really clean, disease-resistant foliage. They're growing from their own root. There's no bud union, there's no graft. Very, very hardy plants. So I wanted to show you because these 3 are the ones that have really started busting out. And look at that flower. This is a beautiful rose, beautifully shaped. That kind of blended color. You have everything from yellow and apricot and pink on this rose. The fragrance is to die for. It is really nice. And I would say it's moderate, but really, really pretty and sweet smelling as well. So this one is called True Sincerity because they're in the True series. And then this one right here is Friendship. And I'm just trying to find, like, here's your bud. And this one's more like a Floribunda to me, where it's nice and compact. It produces a stem with a lot of buds. So when you cut this stem, it would be like a whole bouquet as it goes. And then the larger flower really fills out, and it's still in the middle of, 5 or 6 other buds. So it's really, really beautiful. Same thing. The smell is wonderful. Fragrance is wonderful on these. So do check these out. True Sincerity. True Friendship is the yellow. I should have mentioned on Sincerity, the foliage has got that dark kind of reddish bronzy sheen to it. So that's really pretty. This is a bright Kelly green, so it looks gorgeous with the yellow. And then this one's more of, I would say, a dwarf. It has definitely a smaller shrubby habit to it, but look at the flowers on it. This has got to be a really high petal count on these. They're almost like a cabbage rose type or shape like that. But my goodness, and this has a fragrance to it too. So check out these True Bloom roses. This is called True Love. And like I said, if you're looking for that kind of bright red, little bit of a pink, hint of pink here, yellows, and that blended color, oh my gosh, beautiful. We are here in the azaleas and rhododendron section. Again, I wanted to tell you, if you're looking for a particular color, come now. We've had a lot of heat. The azaleas and rhododendrons are really opening up very quickly and really maturing. The flower is maturing very fast too. But you see all the color, the reds, the pinks, the purples, all the way down here. So do look for your rhododendrons. And if somebody's always wanted a rhododendron or an azalea, remember, they are evergreen. They do like acidic soil. They do like shadier spots, so part shade to shade. I'm always going to tell you eastern exposure is going to be best for those if you're going to put them in a partially sunny area. But they are really, really great. Well-drained soil. Make sure your soil is not wet because they can have some root issues and some crown issues. So do be aware of that. Feed them with Hollytone. They'll be super happy. If you're looking for some edibles and you want to put them out, look at the herb containers. Lots of different types, if you will, Mediterranean herbs, Italian herbs, Mexican herbs, and then also for tea lovers and also for soups. So look for these. Lots of different types of herbs. You can, of course, make your own herb selections and put them together. Most of your herbs will grow very, very well together. I usually try to isolate the stronger smelling like chives or onions, that type of thing, off to the side a little bit, because sometimes it makes other herbs smell that way, a little bit of oniony, not that I really mind, but that will also work. So just remember, if you're interested in tea, you love your tea, iced tea, what have you, you can do your lemon verbenas, your mints in a container, not let your mints go wild, and then you can always pick them, put them in your iced tea, you're ready to go for your drink. I'm in the perennial section at Avon, and they've set up this great display of deer-resistant perennials. Some things are blooming right now, just starting. Some things are going to come on a little bit later, but it kind of gives you an idea that you will have plants throughout the season that'll perform for you with really good deer resistance. Of course, can't beat the lamb's ear. So this is Helen von Stein. This is what we call a flowerless lamb's ear. Every once in a while, you might get a little spike here and there. If you don't like the flower spikes, the pollinators do, so I'm just letting you know. But if you want to, you can always cut those spikes back and just let the foliage go. So that's always a good thing. Yarrows, you can't beat the yarrows in the garden, especially your golden yarrows. They are really some of the strongest, best growing and aromatic perennial plants out there. Once you get fading on this, just like when I was talking about the meadow sage earlier, you get about 75% fading or dieback on the flowers. Go ahead and cut them down, and you'll see side shoots that are producing new growth, new buds. That's where you want to go, and they'll come back out and flower for you as well. So never be afraid to use your yarrow, use your sage, use your lavender as well. So again, very aromatic, the lavenders, that's always going to be a great plant to grow, and deer will not like this again. So just be aware of that. Right behind me is the catmint or nepeta. Again, extremely aromatic. So you're getting to where I'm getting, where the more fragrant or not so fragrant, even it could be stinky or smelly, the more aroma that that plant gives off, the more resistance it's going to have to deer browsing and also rabbit browsing too. And so that's a great thing to do, is come through the garden center, pet the plants, see if they release an aroma that's going to be your number one thing where, oh my gosh, you know, it smells, it has a good aroma or a bad aroma, it's going to keep them away. Got Joe Pye weed, foxglove here in the back. A little bit of evening primrose that hasn't started blooming yet, but it will. So that nice yellow evening primrose. Really, really nice selection through here. And I got a little bit for the shade right here. That what we call Chinese forget-me-not or Brunera. Beautiful heart leaf, really, really fuzzy foliage. But that's a great one for deer-resistant and shadier spots as well. We're in the annual shade section, so if you're noticing, it's a little bit darker here, and that's okay. We have lots of shade gardens, and so if you need color for shade, there's plenty to choose from. Everything from your fuchsia, right? Boston ferns, begonias down below, and also I wanted to show you the caladiums. So sometimes we call them elephant ears. Caladiums are going to be, ooh, and it's windy too, because the retractable roof's kind of making noise right now. But the caladiums are going to be a really good option for colorful foliage in the shade, especially if you want something a little bit more tropical or exotic. Really, really great colors. Whites, reds, pinks, greens is normally what you see with the caladiums. So do try these guys, okay? And then I wanted to show you the hypoestes as well. We grow polka dot plant in house plants, but the one out here in annuals is definitely a larger leaf variety. So it really fills out well with some of the other larger annual plants. So your larger begonias or New Guinea impatiens, those types of plants. So this is a great variety. It's called White Splash, which makes sense, but they're bigger. They have fuller leaves than typically what we see in the houseplant section. So do look for these guys. White, pink, beautiful pink. Like I said, big foliage on that. And then also the reds too. Really, really great. Beautiful plant. And then we also have the dwarf fuchsias. So these are going to grow a little bit more upright for you in containers. You can put them in hanging baskets, just expect them to go up a little bit more than branching out and trailing down, okay? And just be aware with your fuchsia, and Taylor wanted me to remind you, deadhead your fuchsias. Don't be afraid to cut them back. They are going to drop flowers. They're a little bit messy, but we love them anyway. But when those branches start to drop the flowers at the end, go ahead and cut your branches back to a node that's developing buds, and you'll be ready to go. And they'll continue to flower for you throughout the season. Keep them actively blooming by cutting them back and deadheading them. And that'll work with basically any of your flowering plants. More shade options that I wanted you to be aware of. And we've talked about the versatility of this plant. See that euphorbia that can grow in full sun to shade. So don't worry about, intermingling it with other kind of shady characters, if you will. It looks great with the polka dot plant. It also looks great with these double impatiens. So if you want to change the color and the rose isn't really doing it for you as far as the pink shades are concerned, you could pop it out to all white, or you could pop it out and put some red and white in there. So really change it up a little bit if you're looking for just some different color options in the shade. And again, when you're talking about using some annuals in the shade, look at all your options with coleus. There are so many beautiful varieties. My biggest hint to you is look at the tags and read how tall they are, because some of these coleus are going to grow nice and bushy and upright. Some are going to be more trailing types of coleus. So just make sure you look at the size and the habit that they're going to produce for you. But if you want more color in your shade gardens, add some coleus, because it's always going to be able to draw in more color. And then you might be able to add a complementary color of a different type of plant with your coleus, and you'll be really happy with your combination at that point. So lots and lots of coleus to choose from. We're back out on Garden Street, and I wanted to show you just some of the options in Color Your Garden. We call it Color Your Garden because these plants are in colorful pots, and they're just easy to put out anywhere you need some color, annual color, and so many different varieties. For the most part, I've got mostly sun varieties out here. I do have, I think those are sun patiens. So I think I've got mostly sun annuals, but we have everything from the calibrachoas to the petunias, sun patiens, pentas even. It's really kind of early for pentas, just so you know. So they're just starting. Gerbera daisies, I'd probably put those in a part shade condition just so they don't dry out. But your lantanas in the back, I have begonias as well, and dahlias. So if you just need some quick color, it's always a great option to come in, pick up some Color Your Garden, and you're ready to decorate and go. Enjoy your May.